It's the moment we've all been waiting for, the final episode of With Love Meghan, a TV show so bad it makes a train wreck look like a trip on the Orient Express. And so, to end the series, is Meghan going to pull out all the stops with a litany of A-list celebrity guests? And will Prince Harry, the world's least happy millionaire, be released from his underground dungeon for an on-screen appearance? Stay tuned. But first, the last show of the run kicks off with Meghan telling us that today is a fun day. Well, I think we'll be the judge of that, as she holds a celebration of this TV show that not many people watched and everyone hated. It's a gathering for friends and family with a special brunch, and we're treated to some of Meghan's famous award-winning acting as she looks at her watch and pretends to be shocked as she says, "Oh, people will be here soon. Oh, oh, oh." It's a moment of such theatrical prowess and expertise, it would have Sir Laurence Olivier himself quaking in his boots. Who needs Meryl Streep or Dame Judi Dench when you've got Meghan and her surprised at what time it is moment? A moment that will no doubt catch the eyes of Oscar judges. By the way, can you imagine if this show actually won awards? Can you think of anything worse? Just imagine how that would fuel Meghan's ego, utterly terrifying. However, to be nominated, they'd have to decide what genre and category of TV this actually is. It's certainly not reality TV, because nothing about this show is real. As Thomas Markle, her own exiled father, who knows her so well, observed, the whole thing is rehearsed and pre-planned. No, if you're thinking of a genre for this show, I would file it under unintentional comedy and scripted drama, with a script that needs an urgent rewrite, and don't get me started on the casting. Unfortunately, the kid stays in the picture, and we're stuck with Meghan for the next 33 minutes as she fusses around getting ready for the party of the century, which, as always, involves her strange habit of shaking dried flowers onto anything that moves. I do hope she knows what those ground-up plants actually contain. I hope there's nothing mind-altering in that substance. Given that they're in California, where anything goes, it could be a brunch to remember. Either way, let's hope that Meghan's guests do have the munchies as she lays out an array of salad items, cakes, and other mid-morning delights. Meghan says, "I love a brunch party, and it's really charming as a way of connecting." Yes, well, I wonder whether she might use this brunch to connect with the 90% of her family that she has cruelly dumped, including her aforementioned father, Thomas. I'm sure that he'd happily jump on a Greyhound bus and make his way up to Montecito. And as a child of the 60s, he would no doubt enjoy Meghan's herbal sprinklings. But alas, the guest list is in, and we'll have to make do with her best friend from college, her mother Doria, and the guy who does the dishes and takes the garbage out, Prince Harry. Although we don't see Harry yet, as Meghan has probably just opened one of the hatches to his underground lair so he can adapt to seeing natural light again. Also, it'll probably take a while to unlock and remove all those heavy chains. She does reveal her excitement about Harry coming though, but doesn't use the word Harry or even H. No. You know what's coming? We're back to my husband, my husband, my husband. And she describes those in attendance today as her community. But it doesn't look like they want to be there. It looks more like an open prison, if you want my view. And she says that it's all about celebrating the next chapter of her life. How unusual for Meghan to make all of this about her. Now, as we look back on this series, I should tell you about the house, which features in the show. Like everything else on With Love Meghan, it is not real. And with a reported value of $8 million, while the house does boast pleasant gardens, mature trees, and clean, tasteful interiors, it's a cowshed compared to Meghan and Harry's actual place in Montecito, a vast, sprawling property on acres of land boasting 9 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms valued at upwards of $20 million. This TV house is like Skid Row compared to Meghan's real pad. Now, I understand that the couple may have chosen not to use their home address for reasons of security and privacy, but can we not therefore pretend that it's her kitchen, her swimming pool, and her garden? It takes the viewers for idiots, and in my view, insults our intelligence. But when did that stop Duchess difficult? Another factor that may have led to the use of this proxy property, this stunt double crib, was the awful idea for Meghan of cameramen and sound guys trampling all over her posh carpet. I suspect the only ordinary people permitted to enter Meghan's actual house are the help, the florist, and an army of yoga instructors. The other behind-the-scenes revelation about this show is the reported production team of over 80 people. Proof that the more money you throw at a TV show, the worse it gets. 80 people to point a camera at Meghan Markle so she can talk about herself, sprinkle psychedelic substances on food, and boil jam. Harry could have done the whole thing on his smartphone, but Meghan needs an entourage. Unfortunately, a crew of 80 people means 80 careers in the media absolutely destroyed, with the poor producers scrambling to delete any reference to this show from their professional history. A career in the adult film industry would be less embarrassing than this. It would make working on the movie version of the musical Cats look like a career high. And through Meghan's cat flap today, so to speak, is Alice Waters, a legendary chef who's going to assist Meghan with a fun brunch I'm having for family and friends. Fun brunch for family and friends. And to thank Alice in advance for her help, Meghan has arranged some gifts, a book and a necklace, no less. Which is why the Duchess takes this opportunity to show us another impossible feat that could never be pulled off by the great unwashed. Wrapping a present in paper. I know, this is actual science. Apparently Meghan used to teach gift wrapping. Of course she did. She's an expert in everything, isn't she? She's on the verge of curing cancer. She's about to broker world peace. And the wine that she's serving today was previously water before her magical blessing. Now, the impressive and dignified chef Alice Waters arrives, and they talk about the importance of healthy eating, at which point Meghan once again perpetuates the myth of her impoverished childhood, with claims that for financial reasons she lived on fast food. I doubt she's ever been in the same room as a Big Mac. Do me a favour. Now, her guest Alice says that the most important thing is having a garden. I know, says Meghan. I know. Oh, I know. At one point, Meghan and Alice had an exciting discussion about what to throw in the compost bin. Well, I'd start with the master tapes of this show, to be honest. But I'm going to break with tradition at this point and say something nice. I know, don't get used to it. Meghan clearly is in awe of Alice. That's right, she admires her greatly. And Alice is a remarkable lady whose love of food and the nature that produces it is infectious. At one point, Meghan says to her, I could make salad with you for the rest of my life. And it's almost believable. Plus, we see a very natural Meghan among her chickens. Presumably, the film crew have gone back to her actual property where she lives, where Archie's chicken shed is located. Meghan acquired rescue birds who were the victims of intensive farming, and it's great to see how the Duchess has helped them to get back to good health and a proper quality of life. And her excitement about the freshly laid eggs, still warm to the touch, is a touching moment, rarely witnessed in this series. So this is the glimpse of the real Meghan that could be and perhaps was, but which as a result of maniacal ambition and greed has all but disappeared. Fleeting though it was one of the rare engaging moments in 4.5 hours of TV. Back to reality now, and it's time to open yet another bottle of booze. Any excuse for our Megs. She loves a drink. I suspect her liver is as toxic as she is these days. And it's time to cook. Or is it? Because after the simple task of mixing eggs with cream for a quiche, Meghan randomly produces a pre-prepared pastry, bypassing the only difficult part of the recipe. It begs the question, what exactly is this show for? It's certainly not for learning anything. She later produces a ready-made roll of pastry for shortbread biscuits, telling viewers to buy it from a shop if you can't be bothered to make it. Is this the level of expertise that Netflix paid $100 million for? And will Series 2 just be frozen dinners? Peel off the plastic lid, 5 minutes in the microwave, you're welcome. We then have the bizarre sight of Meghan writing out menus for the guests with a calligraphy pen. And you'd think she was composing the Gettysburg Address. It wouldn't be an episode of With Love Meghan if there wasn't a moment of undisguised rage. Meghan explains why she labels everything, because she's tired of people saying, "What's that? What's that? What's that?" Indeed, how dare you ask this flawless matriarch A woman who makes Cleopatra look low maintenance what food is on the table. The hostility is palpable. And it means a meal at Meghan's involves more reading than a trip to the library. She's even got a special device where you draw lines onto unlined paper very faintly, so the words are super straight. You then erase those lines once you've written the menu. Why? And here's where we get to the essence of Meghan. It's all about control. That's why her handwriting is so perfect. That's why everything is labelled. And why this show is an entirely fictional, highly manufactured, airbrushed product. Just like Meghan herself. Finally, the friends arrive, a handful, frankly. You could fit all of them into a phone box or a mini. And at this point, you'd expect a big reveal, with Meghan tapping into her vast contacts book and attracting a few A-listers. Oprah Winfrey, the Obamas, George and Amal Clooney. Instead, the only recognisable faces are Mum Doria and, you guessed it, my husband. But it's a blink and you'll miss it appearance. He's there to grin inanely behind dead eyes and pay homage to his incredible wife. Well done, darling, he says joylessly. You did great. It's actually painful watching Harry in these scenes. He looks more lost than ever. What's he doing standing in a garden in California drinking mimosas? No amount of sparkling Napa Valley wine or Floridian orange juice will make him forget the bad choices that he's made in life. Paradise has rarely looked so unhappy, so unattractive, and so uncomfortable. But there you have it. Now you'd think as we reach the final episode of With Love Meghan, we can lick our wounds and recover slightly until Series 2. Sadly not. We have the breaking news that Meghan Markle is to host a new podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder, exploring her expertise as an entrepreneur alongside other women in business. What experience would that be? Her lifestyle brand, America Riviera Orchard, which sounds like a skin disease, it was a total disaster. Or her latest effort, As Ever, which has been a legal and PR quagmire before a single jar of jam or flour sprinkles has been sold. Meghan Markle advising people on how to run a business is like Taylor Swift advising people on how to hold down a boyfriend. Of course, I'll be listening to the podcast, so you don't have to. And we must brace ourselves for Season 2 of With Love Meghan, which is coming later this year. Let's hope we see a bit more of my husband. What a wild ride it's been. Thank you so much for watching all of these videos. There's so much more to come. So much material, so much to talk about. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit the notification bell for emergency hot take monologues. And I'll see you next time.